Good morning. So, this morning, it looks like there's one very impressive stock on the leading gappers this morning, and that is SYPR. And if you look at the chart here, this stock has had an incredible 5-minute setup here for basically $2.50. It had to move all the way from $4 to a high of 632, which is really impressive, and it's doing another 5-minute setup right here at 630. The high of this last 5-minute candle is 634. I'm not getting in on this one because it seems pretty extended, but this stock has some really good news, so I can pull this up here and kind of show you why it's going so crazy. So SYPR is Cypress. If I pull up this right here, Cypress Solutions Incorporated, and they engaged in the provision of truck components, oil and gas pipeline components, and aerospace and defense electronics. And if you see here, they have won a defense contract award for electronic modules for precision guided anti-ship missile system, which sounds like a pretty big deal. So it's up a lot right now. The cool thing is this stock is easy to borrow. It's most likely going to make some pretty big moves to the upside before being able to short it, and I'll probably try and trade it to the long as well, but I need a better pullback. Right here, after it moved up $2.50, I'm not interested in getting in until there's a better pullback on the 5-minute chart. So it looks like we're going to get a little bit more of a pullback here, possibly right under 650. So there's 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. So as long as it doesn't break over 650 in the next minute and 50 seconds here, 650 is probably going to be a likely breakout level for the next 5-minute candle. We'll see how much it dips down here, if it does at all. Started the live stream a little bit early today because of this stock going so crazy here. So 40 seconds on this 5-minute candle. Excuse me. So I just bought in here at exactly $6. On the 1-minute chart, you can see this moving average here. So I got in right at $6, 607 shares. So just took my first position for the day, and I'm going to look for this to come back up and break over 650. It could pull back some more. The VWAP is way down here at 536. So we'll see how much of a pullback we get here, or if it continues higher. So I'm in with 1/4 of my account now on this one, and it has very strong news. So the high of the last candle on the 1-minute chart is 632. Or actually the high of the last candle now is 615. So I'm adding here at 615. And it looks like, hey Trevor, it looks like it might not be breaking that level right here. We'll see. Obviously, we want to see a 5-minute setup here. So if it takes another 5 or 10 minutes to give us a 5-minute setup, that's okay. So the news on this stock is pretty big deal. It's up 125% right now from yesterday's price, and it has some news of winning a defense contract award for something to do with anti-ship missile system. A follow-on award from a U.S. DoD prime contractor to manufacture and test electronic power supply modules for a mission-critical, long-range, precision-guided anti-ship missile system. Production will begin this year. Terms of the agreement were not disclosed. So I have 1,052 shares at an average price of $607. And it may pull back a little bit more here. But with that kind of news, I would be holding this position on the pullback in anticipation of the next 5-minute setup. So dropping down a little bit here. If you guys are just joining the live stream, the leading gapper today is SYPR. It has a float of 11.4 million, and right now we have 25.7 million shares of volume on this with some really good news, and it is up 125%. It did a really nice 1-minute setup and breakout here initially about an hour ago, about 45-50 minutes ago. So it is a little bit extended here, but super strong. This 5-minute breakout was 2 minute or just under $2.50. So here we are coming up on the 5-minute chart. The high of the last candle, 650. We have 40 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. So either it will break up over 650 in the next 35 seconds, or this candle will close and it will likely continue up, breaking the high of the last 5-minute candle. So we'll see what that high is here in 20 seconds. My average price is 607. I might add to this as it breaks 650, or as it breaks the high of this current candle after it closes. So watching it closely here. 3 seconds. So the high of this candle is 629. So I'm ready to add. Adding here at 628. Looking for some continuation to the upside. So my average price is 612 with 1380 shares. Breaking 650. I just took half my position off the table there to be safe, so got out at 644 with half my position, and I'm going to hold the rest here for a continued 5-minute breakout. So first trade of the day here. I'll make these candles a little bit bigger here for watching on a phone screen. We got above 650. Now probably get a 1-minute pullback, maybe. $6.60. This one could easily get up to $7 on this 5-minute breakout. So still holding the 690 shares here, up 50 cents on this trade. Didn't use full size. It's my first trade of the day. I think I got up to like 30 or almost 40% of my account in the first trade there. I did shift one twice. So I took 25%, and then I used another 25% of the remaining 75% of my account, so somewhere around 40%. So this just did a 1-minute pullback here. We'll see how much it comes back here with an average price of 622 on these shares. So hanging right around 650, and then we'll look for a move up after this pullback right here. the nice thing about this stock is it is easy to borrow. Easy to borrow. It says ETB right here, which means I can short it at my broker here. So that's good news for me for being able to trade this both on the way up and the way back down. So 1 minute breakout here to the upside. The high of pre-market here is 674. So we'll see if we break over 674 here. Yep. So looking for a move up to 690s and maybe a break of 7 if it can. $680. I'm stopping out on the rest here. Doesn't seem like it's it'll probably get up there, but I'm happy with that first trade. So up $642.96 on that first trade. So that's a nice little cushion to start the day before before the market opens. We have 20 minutes and 20 seconds until the market opens. And this stock is quite extended. It's up over $1 from the volume weighted average price and up 90 cents from the 9 exponential moving average here on the 5-minute chart. So could keep going up here. It could have a very nice continued 5-minute breakout here, but I won't be in it for that. I will be waiting for it to do another pullback for a more solid entry. So the float on this is 11 million, and it's has tons of attention this morning and a lot of trading here. So far 31 million shares of volume, which is a lot pre-market. So this stock will probably get up to 75 or 100 million shares of volume today. I wasn't too interested in anything else I saw in the gap scanners, but I didn't look too hard. There was a potential short on RAAC, but I didn't take it, and the move already happened. So that was about 45 minutes ago, or more like an hour ago. If I had started looking at everything a little bit earlier, I probably would have gotten in on this 5-minute breakout, which would have been really good, but that's okay. So it's having a little bit of a struggle getting over 680 here. You can see it's kind of a level of resistance here on the 1-minute chart for the last 5 minutes. It's kind of been pushing up towards getting over 680, but sustain that level there. So it's pulling back, and I haven't been looking at the 1 minute or the 10-second chart a whole lot in my trading recently, but this is probably a good one to watch the 10-second chart as well, just to try and time entries and exits a little bit better, because you get a little bit more detail on this chart when it starts breaking up or breaking down on certain price levels. So if you look at the 10-second chart here, you can see how significant this level is right here at 680. I see all these candles it was coming up over and then dropping down. So it's respecting 680. So a break through 680 will probably see this have a quick move up towards $697. But like I said, it is extended here on the 5-minute chart, so I'm not so sure I'll be trading that. If I do, it will be with 25% of my account. So a bunch of selling here on the level 2. All the red coming here is a bunch of people selling on the bid. So looks like we're getting a pullback here. 45 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. So today my account, you can see right here, is at 14,699. So I'll bring this up. This is one little thing of concern today. So here's Trader View. And if you notice in this small account challenge, I started here with 2,000. My only day where I've really done bad, aside from Monday this week, was on Wednesdays. I only made 157, and then I had my biggest loss the other Wednesday. So I'm actually red on Wednesday overall. So maybe that means something. Maybe it doesn't. So just something to have in the back of my head. But again, I'm not trading my P&L. I'm trading my. So we're getting this 5-minute breakout here over 680. I'm not trading it. I'm gonna wait. So yeah, Wednesdays have been my worst day so far in these 2 weeks I've been trading. So we'll see if I can not have a red day today. But all I want to do is trade the market right in front of me. I don't want to be thinking about if I get red on the day, I don't want to be trying to make back a certain amount. I just want to trade the stocks in front of me, trade the setups, and so forth. So that was a failed 5-minute breakout here on SYPR. You saw it got just above 680, that price level I was talking about, and then it rejected it, and it's all the way down at 645 here. So running into some support here on the 1-minute chart, right at this 20 moving average, and dropping below it. So we will see what it does here. We have 13 minutes until the market open, and not a clean 5-minute chart. So we'll see how much it pulls back here. Ideally, on a 5-minute chart, you want to see something kind of like this earlier on. A big move up, and then a smaller pullback, and then a breakout from the high of the last candles. And we had that right here. So I made my first trade of the day. This 5-minute breakout here, I anticipated and got in at $6 and then added as it broke over here. But what we're seeing here with this failed 5-minute breakout on the 5-minute chart kind of makes this not look so great. But here in 5 or 10 15 minutes, that will be, old news, and the chart will look a little bit better as it pulls back. And there's a candle over here with a lower high price. For the next candle to do a 5-minute breakout, it would have to come up over the top of this candle, which is 691, which is the high of pre-market. So I'll be looking here to see how far this pulls back, and see where I might want to get in. So I think for this stock, I'm not going to want to, well, I'm thinking about when I'm going to switch from a long bias to short bias on the stock, because it could be very extended when it does its final reversal for the day. And if it's looking super weak and it's really extended, I might short it above the VWAP. But otherwise, I'll probably be waiting for this stock to drop below whatever the VWAP is at the time before I short it. A short for this breaking below the VWAP will probably be a good short. Right now, the VWAP is at 572, and if you look at the daily chart here, 572 is all the way up here. 570 is right there. So that's a pretty big drop on the daily chart. With the good news here, with the news of the winning the defense contract for anti-ship missile systems, electronic modules for precision-guided anti-ship missile systems, it probably won't come all the way back down, but it's possible. It could come down to, $4. Let's look at the daily chart here. So this one hasn't been up here since 2014. So the last time it was up in this price range was in 2014, and it had a high of 650 in mid 2014. So interesting. I'm taking a starter here at 629. It's pulled back quite a bit here, and it might stay below this moving average for a little bit, but this pullback on the 5-minute chart is considerable, and it's not too far off this moving average. So I'm in with 579 shares at 629. So buy low, sell high, or buy high, sell higher, however you want to look at it. With that failed 5-minute breakout, it could be, it could come down quite a bit more here. VWAP is 572. So I'll be looking, if it does come down here, I'll be looking to probably add if it comes down enough. Either that, or I'll stick it out with this position and wait for a move up towards, mid $6, 650. I just don't. It is possible that this doesn't go higher today, because this is a really big move already, up from, up 132% from yesterday right now. And I'd say this week the market has kind of cooled off. We haven't had as much continuation, as much momentum trading to the long side this week. From last week, there was a whole bunch. But this week, not so much. It's just hard to see this one not moving higher with this news. And 36 million shares of volume right now. So 7 minutes and 15 seconds to market open. When the market opens is when there's the most volume and volatility on the day. So trading these stocks is kind of like the wild west of the stock market, making 130% moves in a matter of, let's see here, 8 o'clock, so a matter of an hour and a half. This stock has come up 130% pre-market. So right now it's coming down and tapping this moving average on the 5-minute chart. So the high of this candle is 635. So if it closes above this moving average, that would be great. It could drop down and tap the VWAP here. So I do have a pretty loose mental stop on this this long position. Kind of, I would hold it until it tapped the VWAP and then actually broke through the VWAP. So I would probably be getting out around 560 or so, which is way down from 629, but on stocks like this, I'm willing to do that. And I do have a $642 profit cushion to fall back on. So looks like it's respecting this moving average for now, but it is coming into some resistance on the 1-minute chart here with this moving average right at 631. So if we break up above that, I am going to add to my position here for the 5-minute breakout. The high of this last candle is 635, so I got in at 637 there. And this looks pretty good here. Breaking over 650. I have 1,010 shares at an average price of 632. So only using 43% of my account here. SYPR. So let's see if it holds 650. It should come all the way up to 670 or so and make a new high here in pre-market. Might do a 1-minute pullback first though. 660. So we'll see if it holds 655. So average price was 632. I don't want to hold this if it gets down below that, so that would be a failed breakout. So getting up into the 70s here. We have 3.5 minutes to the market open, so starting to see some more volume come in here on this 5-minute breakout. Right here's the volume profile. So however tall each of these little columns or bars or whatever you want to call it is going to be how much volume there was on each candle. So struggling here at 670. It'll getting over 670 here. Still holding my full position. My average price is 632, 680s. So we briefly got into the 90s there, 690s. I'm going to get out of half of my position on the break of $7. Usually when it breaks $7, it will go up 5 or 10 cents immediately. So watching here for the break of $7, and I tried to get out, didn't quite break. So $7, whole dollars and half dollars are levels of support and resistance. So that just barely came up above $7 before rejecting it for now. But the market opens in 2 minutes here, and this one's looking really strong here on this 5-minute breakout. So up 55 cents on this trade. We'll see if it pushes up on $7 again here. So coming up, $7. Doing a little bit of a 1-minute pullback. So it's trying to break $7 here. Definitely some resistance, but I'm not selling quite yet. We're doing a 1-minute pullback, and the market opens here in just over a minute. So exactly 1 minute till the market open. Sometimes there's a pretty good dip right at the market open, and this is extended here on the 5-minute chart. So I might get out of this on the bid before 9:30, but just holding it for the time being. It's about to get exciting. 25 seconds to the bell. All right, name of the game is manage your risk. So I'm getting out of half of my position, or I got out of the whole thing just in case. So I'm out of the whole position here. If it's going to break over 7, I might add back to it, but here we go. Yep, that was a quick move. So right now I'm just sitting back here and watching this. It will probably make a nice move up, but I didn't want to be in it in case it dipped, because it could pull back and be halting going down in very rapidly. Looking at it right now, here's a nice dip here, and I'm adding here at 671 for the bottom of that dip there. We'll see. My stop is going to be 650. So in with 500 shares here. My stop is 650. Okay. So right here I was buying the dip. So my average price is 671. And it is looking pretty strong here to move up higher. So look how fast that broke $7, and now it's all the way up here at 740, 745, selling half. So I sold half at 741 there. So I have 273 shares. I'm doing a good job this morning of using small share sizing, and I don't really need to use large share sizing to have a nice trade on this one. That was only 500 something shares, and making a decent amount of money on this trade. Good morning to you guys watching. It looks like there's 6 people right now. I'm gonna stop out of this here, break even. So made a couple hundred on that trade. And I'm going to be looking to see what it does here. Always keeping in the back of my mind that I can short this stock. So if this is where it's going to peak on the day, if it's going to break the VWAP, I will be shorting it at $6. With 1/4 of, I don't know, breaking the VWAP would be a pretty strong. I might go with half my account for that trade. especially now that I have a nice cushion. So always managing my risk over thinking about potential profits. So here we are getting a move up towards 750. So this could be a pretty big move here. Could easily come up to $8 the way it was trading pre-market. So just sitting and watching. One of the hardest things for people to do is watch a stock make a huge move and not participate in it. But if you don't have a good entry, then you don't have any business trading it. So I got out, took some profit, and I don't have a good entry on this right now. So I'm just sitting here with my hands in my pockets. If you guys are looking at any other stocks, call them out in the chat just so I can have a look at them. I haven't been looking at any other stock since well before the market opened. This one's enough for me to pay attention to at the moment. So getting up over the 70s, and this would probably see $8, but it's pulling back. So 55 million shares of volume on this with a 11 million share float. So this stock has traded 5 times its float so far this morning, and it's only 5 minutes into the market open, which is insane. Lots and lots of volume on this today. So watching this for potentially shorting it. I would be shorting it at 650 now. That's the low of this candle. So looking to short it here if it doesn't continue. Shorting is inherently more risky than going long because you can lose a lot more money shorting if you don't stop out. So a couple stocks hitting the scanners. Maybe BNTC. I'll look at that on a different chart. BNTC. BNTC. Breaking up over the VWAP or trying to. Let's see. BNTC. So SYPR has a pretty big move to make a new high on this one. So I'm watching it here for a break below 650. I'm shorting it here if I can with a quarter of my account. So just filled there at 666. So my stop on this one is over, let's see, over $7. So I'm ready to stop out on this, getting in anticipation of a move lower if it doesn't come up any higher today. Somewhat risky trade here because this stock has a strong catalyst and a ton of volume, and it could easily just rip back through $7. So I am ready to stop out immediately. But if it does come down and break below the VWAP, I'll be able to have a better average price because of anticipating that move. So right here at my price, watching and it's definitely been trending up in pre-market, so I'm trading against the trend, and the trend is your friend, so maybe I'm not being a good friend right now, but we'll see. Okay, stopping out there. Stopped out right at $7, so gave back less than $200 on that trade, which is okay. Not a huge deal. So I used my hotkeys to get out of that trade. Alt Z buys back a full short position on the ask. So immediate execution. So I'll still be looking at this, but I definitely want it to break down and start making lower lows here on the 1 minute chart and get below the moving average of 651 and then the VWAP of 630. So probably shouldn't be trying to short this one yet today, but it did look pretty weak there. So watching here, we have 18 seconds left on this 5 minute candle, and the high of this one is 731, so I am ready to go long here for a 5 minute setup at 730. Waiting 5 seconds on this candle. Candle closes in 3, 2, 1, and I'm adding here at 7:15 in anticipation of a 5 minute breakout. Pulling back a little bit. So this candle has a low of 662, which is a pretty far way to go for a stop. So I'm going to go with this moving average here on the 1 minute chart, 684. So 683 is my stop. So watching here, 510 shares at 715. And looks like if we get over 731, this one is good to go up higher on a 5 minute breakout. So here we are at 730, briefly breaking that level. So definitely a big battle here at 715 level for what this is going to do. So watching the time and sales, if I see a whole ton of green, it'll probably be going up, and if I see a whole ton of red, it'll probably be coming down. My stop is 680. Okay, I'm out. Gave back 2 more hundred there. So I've been taking stabs here, and this is where I wanted to short it. So right there at 650, huge level. So I just used half, 3/4 of my account here because this is a huge level for coming down and testing the VWAP. So average price is 649. I don't want to be in this much above 650, so really watching this carefully. It could either bounce off this level and move up quickly. My stop is around 670 right now, but if this breaks below VWAP, this is going to be a very good trade. Potentially a very long trade too. It's pushing on the VWAP. Yeah, this is my best entry so far. 650 was the price I was watching for coming down. I am ready to get out of this immediately. In with 1,700 shares. When I feel better about a setup, I use more share size on this one. If I didn't do this yesterday, I would have had a mediocre day, but I saw a really good short trade and jumped on it and made almost 5,000 in a couple minutes. So not going to make 5,000 on this one, but it's a little bit higher priced. But pushing on the VWAP pretty good here. So sometimes I go back and forth between long and short positions like that and give back a little profit, but I'm anticipating much bigger moves, and if I don't get in, then I'm not going to have any entry later on. So this looks pretty good here, coming down below the VWAP. We're going to see if it respects the VWAP and stays above it, or if this candle can close down here below the VWAP and kind of respect it to the downside. So this is really good here. Very extended on the daily chart. So we're going to have a new 5-minute candle here in 10 seconds. Not taking any profit yet, because if this respects the VWAP to the downside, it could become a very long trade as it moves down throughout the day. So right here at the VWAP, we want to see a breakdown below $6. No risk, no reward. There's no way I would turn a $2,000 account into a $14,700 account in 2.5 weeks without taking big risks. It's just all about being able to cut your losses early and let your promising winners run a little bit to make up for smaller losses. So big wins, small losses, good entries, and you can do well. Average price of $6.49. Alright, breaking down below $6. Still holding the full position because coming down below VWAP makes this super weak. It's entirely possible for stocks coming down below VWAP to turn around and move back up and even make new highs on the day, but for this to do that would be a pretty impressive move, and it's way more likely for this to stay around this level for a little bit, maybe test the VWAP again, and continue lower. So I've really been doing well shorting as opposed to going long, but did have some good opportunities on this to get a profit cushion with some smaller trades to the long side earlier on, and now I'm kind of in my zone here on this short. VWAP is the most powerful level that I use to know when to short a stock when it's coming down after insane moves. And if you think about the fact that this stock is still up 125%, you can see that right here, 125% from yesterday's price. And sure, a defense contract for electronic modules for for precision-guided anti-ship missile systems sounds like a pretty big deal. Does it really increase the value of this company by 125%? Probably not. But then again, these moves we're trading is momentum trading. It's not necessarily reflective of the value of the company. So coming up a little bit here, it bounced off this moving average. As long as this one stays below the VWAP on a pull back up on the 1 minute chart, I might even add the rest of my account to this position if it's staying below the VWAP. If it's breaking above the VWAP, I'll be stopping out quickly and maybe having a red trade, but I do have a cushion on the day, and the odds are in my favor that this will come down based on my 2 years of staring at this kind of price movement. So breaking back below $6, can it break down into the 80s and 583? 583 is the only moving average left before 345 on the 5 minute chart. So I'm in with my original position, not adding to it here. It might very well bounce around in between these this level of 580 and 630, but we'll see. Huh, that's interesting, Turf. Don't, just realized my VWAP calculation has changed. Lightspeed Trader platform. What does your VWAP say it is for SYPR right now? Mine's at 633. Oh, that's a big difference. 682, wow. Yeah, I'd look into that. Cool, yeah, so his Thinkorswim platform shows the same volume weighted average price as I have here on eSignal on my charts. So that's good. I was getting a little worried on my end. So it did a nice little bounce here off of the 580 level in this moving average here, exponential moving average. So my stop on this stock is breaking over the VWAP, not the VWAP, because it could come bounce into the VWAP. It has to be breaking over. So probably 640 or so would be my stop, and that would only be, you know, a 9-cent winner if I were to get out at 640. But I'm swinging for home runs here. Sure, I could have been taking profit down here, but I don't need to. At this point in the day, I have the cushion and the room to give it a little bit of time and a little bit of patience for a continuation down. Yep, playing baseball, swinging for home runs. So I have a question here from my brother. He's asking me, how do I decide when it's appropriate to use my whole account? It's a very good question, because when I'm using my whole account, I can have very big losses very quickly. And for this growing my account from 2,000 as fast as I can to 25,000, which is what I'm doing in this small account challenge, I kind of am more inclined to use my whole account, because I'm trying to have really big wins and get to that 25,000 level. That's not the right way to approach trading, but it is what I'm doing just for the small account challenge, because I want to see how quickly I can do it. So with that mindset, I could have a really big loss here or there. And if I was using my whole account on an extremely volatile stock that was halting, oftentimes, we haven't seen it a whole lot in this small account challenge the last 2.5 weeks, but oftentimes there's stocks that are halting repeatedly up and down, and they'll halt going up and then they'll halt coming down. Looking to stop out here if I need to. So watching this closely. We'll see, is it going to tap the VWAP or is it going to reject it? So far it looks like a rejection. That's nice. So you see how this came up here, tested right at this price level. You see how this came, look at that. Perfect move. That's exactly what I want to see. That's where I would have been adding to my position short, but because it had done such a large rejection here to the upside, I was pretty uneasy about it. But this is exactly what I wanted to see, and it's coming down. So yeah, as far as using my whole account, not the best practice, and as far as having a account value in the back of my head that I'm trying to reach as fast as possible, also not the best way to go about day trading. Because in the same way, if I'm red on the day, it's just a larger time frame, because I'm obviously not making $25,000 a day with this account. But if I'm red on the day, so let's say I was down $1,000 right now, I would be, and any human being that knew their P&L on the day, which is why some people trade without knowing their P&L, any human being would have that number in the back of their mind, and to some account it would impact their trades for the rest of the day. They'd be trying to make back that amount, and that impacts, you know, which entries you take, which stocks you trade, how much of your account you use. And if you go back to my videos and look at the video from Wednesday the 17th, you can see a very nice example of how I traded all day long with that exact intent to make back my account, and it worked against me. I could have finished the day down about the same or a little bit less, but instead I stayed for 6 or 7 more hours trying to make it back and wasn't able to. So trying to make back losses is not good, and using your whole account is extra risky. So I'm using my whole account in this at this time because I'm comfortable with my ability to stop out and get out of trades before it becomes an insanely detrimental loss. I will not be using my whole account on stocks that are halting repeatedly. If it's not in my direction, if I'm not way up on the position. This one, I'm up 81 cents per share right here. So let's say I determined that it's likely that it's going to bounce off this moving average here at 609. That's still pretty close to my price, so I might not add there. But if it's somewhere down here, it has a setup where it's consolidated and it is very likely to move lower, then I would be comfortable adding to this trade. I probably won't at this point because it's coming down so much already that there's not as much room for me to profit on adding to this trade. But it could come down all the way to $4 today. It would take a long time to do that, but it's entirely possible. So honestly, don't really know. This is a really cool catalyst. You know, can you think of some cooler news than electronic modules for precision guided anti-ship missile system? I can't. That's pretty cool. So, you know, lots of people thought that was really awesome and bought this stock right when the news came out and earlier on. But, you know, it says right here, terms of the agreement were not disclosed. Electronic modules for anti-ship missile system might not really be, you know, a huge contract. Obviously it's a huge contract, but it might not be huge in terms of like Cypress Solutions Incorporated's whole you know, business. So yeah, I'm not going to be using my full account very often, less and less often as my account grows, but early on I'm okay doing it here. So this is looking good here. It's now broken down below this moving average at 583. You can see there's definitely a price level here on the 1 minute chart when it was down here, and see the low of these candles are 565. So a break below 565 and holding below that level would be definitely a nice move. But as this comes down, it will probably move slower and slower. We can still expect it to be likely to come up and test up here in the low sixes again, but it might not. It might just keep coming down. So here it just tested that 565 level again. Here it is right at 560, high 560s. I'm gonna pull up SNSS really fast just so we can see it, because was looking at this one yesterday. SNSS. So whenever I'm doing this, I'm keeping an eye on the level 2 of the stock I'm in. So I'm not like completely ignoring my trade. SNSS, that one's being pretty volatile. It's not shortable today with my account. SYPR coming down here, trying to break below 565. Can't do it. Let's see if there's anything else interesting. SLDB, let's look at SLDB. SLDB. SLDB looks like it could be a nice one to short, but SYPR moving up a bit, so I'm going to watch this one. Yep, so I fully expect this one to come up here and test $6 again. I could either take some profit here and add to it, add back to the position at $6, but I don't have as good of an idea if it's going to do that as, say, 5-minute setup. So I'd rather not, rack up some commissions. I'd rather just hold it as it, bounces back and forth on its way down here. Yep, so you get to see a lot of cool news that people don't see if you are day trading, because, a lot of news like this is not going to be, mainstream news, but every day there's interesting news. A lot of it's, medical stuff, like medical advancements, because, there's tons of companies that are always trying to make new drugs and treatments and such for things like Alzheimer's and cancer that is so far, mostly untreatable, some of it. So there's often news in that sector that's interesting. And certainly in the last year, because of the coronavirus, there was all kinds of news with the companies that were racing to come up with the vaccines. So that was fun to watch. So this is looking good, looking like a nice, safe, short trade to be in. Shorted it right as it broke the VWAP at 650. And it's been a pretty safe trade here since then. Up 1,360 unrealized here. So this is it's still extended to the downside, but breaking below this, the bottom of this candle, would be like a 5-minute breakout to the downside, because this candle came all the way down here to 660 and this one consolidated. So it didn't continue. It pulled up a little bit, and the low of this candle is 656, which is that one price level here that it's really been respecting. So the fact that it would be a 5-minute breakout and breakout on this resistance on the 1-minute chart makes below 656 a really, really strong level if it's coming down. Right now it's pulling back up, testing this moving average on the 5-minute chart. Another opportunity to possibly short it with the rest of my account, but it's still pretty extended to the downside, so I'd want to wait for it to move up towards 610 or so. So watching this here, the risk of adding at 610 is that it was coming into a lot of support or resistance, however you want to look at it, coming down here. So I am considering adding to my position here around 610. So watching, but we'll see what happens. Yep, so I'm shorting the rest of my account there at 605. So that just lowered my average price down to 638. So definitely going to want to watch it here as it comes towards the VWAP. So I'm ready to stop out on the full position if it gets over 628. I would give it a little bit of room to test it, so probably 632 or so would be where I'd be stopping out. So looking for a big rejection of the VWAP here. So there's that rejection I'm looking for. and we're going to look for it to continue to reject the VWAP. If it doesn't, all I got to do is stop out. So ready to hit the hotkey to bail out of this trade if need be. So I'm getting out here. So that was that's what happens when it comes back above the VWAP. I didn't get out where I wanted to, 648, which happens, but I only lost another couple hundred on this trade. So that's the good thing about a profit cushion, is I can swing for the home runs and it's okay. Now I might sit here and watch this come all the way back down to my you know, to my entry here, 638, and see it come down below the VWAP, and I could start adding back to it, but I'm definitely going to want to see it reject this level. So you could look at that like, well, shoot, Chris, you just gave back, you know, $1,000 of unrealized profit. That's okay. It's part of the way I've been trading, and my track record here in this small account is one to show that what I'm doing has been working. Sure, if I traded different sometimes I could do better, but I also wouldn't have these huge days here, 4,000, 3,500, if I wasn't swinging for home runs. So, and I'm up $761 here, which is pretty good. I'm very happy with that. If I was red on the day, I'd be more concerned. That would be concerning. And I'd probably want to stop trading for the day. But that's not the case. So watching here to see if it's going to reject the VWAP. It's hanging right around the VWAP here. And so I'm taking a small short position here at 620. Trying to get back into it because it's still really extended on the day. So in at 620. Watching this for it to, so look at that. Now we're getting the rejection here. So it definitely came up quite a bit more than is comfortable to stay in a position. Sometimes I do give it enough room to do that, but if it's going to break above the VWAP and stay there, that's pretty bad practice. So I got out 648, and I'm happy with that decision. Managing risk. So it might do a 1 minute setup to the long here, or it might break below 6, either way. So just staying in this with full size for the time, small size for the time being. There we go. So not really okay, so the low of this candle is 560. So I will short it at 565 or so. Or I'm shorting here at 570 for the break of the low of this candle here. If it does break down below 565, it's going to be a big break here. So my average price is 584. So definitely, definitely putting myself out there for having to stop out on this one. But you can see how strong this rejection is of the VWAP. So watching here, looking for a break below 565. And there it is. There's the break. So this one, if it can sustain a move down below 565, is really good. My average price is 584. So it's coming back up here. Lots of buying and selling coming through on the tape. So trading is not about being right or wrong. It's just about taking the setups and stopping out or taking profit where you think it's going to go. I definitely, yes, got to be honest here with myself, definitely could have taken some profit when I was up on this one down here, but it's pretty early in the day for this one coming down. If you look at the daily chart here briefly, look at that. That's up a lot. Has a lot of room to come down. So I'm all about a home run trade on this stock versus scalp trading it at this point. Scalp trading is just getting in for the breakout and then taking profit quickly. It is good to take profit quickly, but this one is definitely weak. It's just surpassed 100 million shares of volume, and it's coming down. So coming down here towards 550 on the 1 minute chart. It pulled up here a little bit, so we're good for a break below 550 here. Either that or coming back up and testing the moving average, which is my price at 584. Breaking 550. And bouncing off of it. So it is below that level of 565 that was a real problem to get down below earlier. We'll see what it does here. 565. So now it's on the other side of 565. And if you just draw a line right here on the 1 minute chart, you can see how it's definitely respecting this price on both sides, whether it's above it or below it. So getting a move down to the all-time low of the market open here. So I gave back, $200 when I stopped out. Now I think I've given back $200 3 times in a row, stopping out on trades on this. So that's not bad at all. The amount of money I make on my winning trades on this way more than makes up for a couple small losses stopping out. You're welcome, Trevor. Feel free to join in any morning you want you want to for some more interesting news. So this one has a low of 537. making new lows here, 536. So realistically, where do I think I should be taking profit on this is a good thing to start asking myself. So I'm looking at the daily chart here to see back in 2014, because that's the last time that we were anywhere up at this price level on this stock. I'm looking at this to see if there's any prominent levels that it was respecting, because interestingly enough, on days like today where it's up 100% right now, and it's never been anywhere near this price since 2014, it's very common for these stocks to kind of respect and bounce off the same levels that they did in the past, even this far back. So while this is 7 years ago, in June of 2014, it's completely relevant for price levels, and it's pretty interesting how that works. So new lows here at 533, watching it on the level 2. So let's look at 533. Here's July of 2014. And look at that. The high of this candle is 562. So this 565 level is pretty predominant here. You can see how it was on the daily chart, was, repeatedly barely coming up and trying to get over that level, and didn't many of the days. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days here in June of 2014 when it was kind of respecting the 565 level. Isn't that pretty impressive? How it correlates to how it was trading so long ago. So analyzing the daily chart is a very, very useful, helpful thing to do to determine levels where you're going to have considerable support or resistance. So the next level we had down here, let's see. Here's kind of a level, this candle and this candle at 531. So that could be, that could be where we're at right now here. But if it gets below that, I don't see anything until 507 and 490. So 507 and 490. So it is hanging out in the 40s here. Once it gets below, $5, the next ones are 507, 490, 478. But I definitely think it can do that today. So 507 is the next level after 530 that could see this bouncing into some support on the way down. So just watching here. So this has been a pretty interesting morning, with how much this. I wish I came in a little bit earlier to trade, because this 5-minute setup on SYPR pre-market was an incredible trade if anyone took it. So the first 5-minute setup of pre-market, the price to get in would have been $3.99 or $4, and it just came straight up for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes and topped out at $6.32. So $2.32 possible there in that move. So definitely reasonable for this stock to consolidate a little bit here. The risk of swinging for home runs definitely demonstrated today by being up so much unrealized and stopping out for a $200 loss. So, I am being risky here. This is a risky business to be in, and you have to take risk no matter what. If you weren't taking risk day trading, then you wouldn't be trading at all. So as long as I stop out at reasonable levels, I can be wrong more often than I'm right on whether or not the stock is going to move in a certain direction. I can still be profitable by managing the trades, stopping out early, and letting winners run a little bit more, which is what I'm doing right here. I stopped out. I had some good trades to the long. I think I was up 1,400 or so, and then I gave back $200 3 times in a row on different trades. So I gave back 600 of that. So up 14 minus 600. So gave back a little bit less than half of my realized profit, and now I'm in another pretty good short trade here. And it's possible I'll do the same thing here. It's entirely possible. And I still wouldn't be too bummed out about it because, it's the way it goes. So I might mitigate the possibility of that by taking some profit down here, but again, this thing has tons of room to come down yet on the day, and I don't need to do that. Even if I stop out on this trade for a $200 loss, or $150, I'm still up $500 on the day, which is a perfectly acceptable and nice return for my efforts this morning. Might just trade one stock today. Probably will. The days where I trade fewer stocks, I usually do better. I am more focused on one stock's, the way it's trading, its price action, and if I start trading a bunch of stocks, it usually means I'm trying to do something with my profit and loss on the day versus just taking the best trades. So that kind of is representative of my first 2.5 weeks here. So you can see on the days where I have bigger winners, with the exception of this day right here, where I was kind of churning shares all day. That is a pretty good day. It's my third best day, but look at this: 6 trades, 5 trades, 2 trades, 5 trades, 7 trades, 3 trades, 3 trades. And then on the red days, the 2 red days, I've had 12 trades, 10 trades. So that shows something right there. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Quality over quantity. And you can't expect to achieve perfection day trading. There's certainly no such thing as perfection in day trading. You can be hard on yourself and have high expectations for yourself, but there's no such thing as a trader who doesn't have red days. It's part of the business. So if you guys are trading any stocks, let me know how you're doing. I'd be interested to know what everyone else is looking at or trading. I understand a lot of people can't short in, like Robinhood and Webull and all that stuff. I don't think you can. So probably not taking any trades like I am on SYPR, but I'd be interested to know what you are trading. I didn't really look too far down the gap scanners today. I just saw this one and saw that there was going to be some volatility and opportunity, and just kind of honed in on it as much as I could. So looks like it's trying to break down below 530. So I said the next level was 507. So we'll see if it comes down to 507 on this chart. If it does, if it comes down and bounces right off 507, that's definitely saying something about daily levels. It won't necessarily will do that though. Here it is coming down. So looks like 520 is a little bit of a level here. So the high of day on this stock is $7.89. Pretty impressive. So you see how quickly stocks go up and then come back down just based on momentum trading, news catalysts. Down below 520 here, I might take off some profit. So I just took 1/4 of my position off there at 519. So just taking a little bit more profit, or taking some initial profit on this trade. It is pretty extended to the downside. Could see it coming all the way back up to 560 pretty easily here. So that's just a little bit of a insurance policy on this trade, that I don't give back another 200 on the profit I already had if it does in fact come all the way up towards my price. But still in this for the home run. So far it's looking good. I chose this level to take some profit because After this initial big move down from testing the VWAP here at 620 or so, it kind of rounded out, and then it was just beginning to drop down a little bit more. So it rounded out, still extended, and making another move lower. So it's likely to kind of bottom out here a little bit. So I figured I should take some profit off at this level. And it might just come crashing right all the way down below $5 too. You never know. Can't predict the future. Turf, that's some good information. I I actually usually don't um, look at those indicators, so I might after I'm done trading today kind of look into that a little bit. How do you usually use those lines in your trading? How often is the price of a stock, moving based on those lines? So it did break down here a little bit more. 515. So if we get to a 508 or 9, I'll take off another little bit of profit, because that was the level I saw on the daily chart. But not a whole lot. I'll take off another quarter of my current position, so I'd be down to, about 1,200 shares, 1,100 something shares. Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah, pretty extended to the downside here. I don't want to trade too long today, so at this point the market's been open for an hour and 6.5 minutes. I've been trading for an hour and 40 minutes or so. Got some pre-market trades in on SYPR to the long, but primarily focused on it shorting as it comes down here. Yep. So at this point, I get a little bit, a little bit fatigued mentally, but still doing good. So if this comes up to 533, that's the moving 534, 535 moving average on the 1 minute chart. So But, you know, it is very, very extended here to the downside. So not sure how much it might pull back up. The way it was trading here in pre-market, you know, this thing can move. This thing can move for sure, but I don't expect it to move like that in the opposite direction. So just in case any of you watching this don't understand short selling, it's the opposite of buying a stock and in anticipation of the price going up and then selling it for a profit. It's selling the stock in anticipation of the price coming down and then buying it back. So you're selling shares of a stock that you don't own, which is why if you look up here in the top left on the screen, you see a negative 1,539 share position of SYPR, which is why this is red. It's red. Yeah, that's why it's red. So coming back down here towards 510. Okay, getting a nice move here. I'm stopping out of half of my position there at 509 because this is that level I was talking about on the daily chart. You know, I'm just going to, I don't really feel like trading much longer today. So I'll see what this does here. If it's going to move lower, that's great. But if it comes up much higher, I might just stop out and be done for the day. There will probably be, you know, more good opportunities today, but you never know. Yeah, so I'm actually going to get out of this here at 5:15 if I can. And oh, whoa. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, so I'm out of this. I accidentally added to my short position, but I just got out of it, and I'm gonna be done for the day. So traded one stock, SYPR, had interesting news, had very, very strong pre-market moves. I was able to capitalize on a 5-minute breakout here in pre-market, and ended up, I think, 1,400 something in realized profit trading it to the long side, then gave back $200 3 different times shorting it, and ended up taking a good short and made a good amount there and finishing up the day $2,229.92. I could sit around here for another hour looking at all the other stocks hitting the scanner. It looks like JAN is a little bit interesting, but doesn't have enough volume on the day, 235,000 shares. And on the daily chart, it doesn't look interesting, so not really interested in that one. OMI is a little bit high priced for me. OMI, we can look at that one just for fun. OMI, so 4.5 million shares of volume. This one looks pretty cool. Pretty good for some opportunity. I can also short it, but looks like it's trading because of its earnings release. So they had some nice profits reported on their fourth quarter earnings report. So that's what's happening there with OMI. Not even sure what that stock, what they do. Medical, dental, and hospital equipment and supplies, etc. It does have a considerable short float for, 8% short float. So 8% of the available shares to trade on this stock are shorted. So that could also drive this higher today. It can definitely be causing some people to cover their short positions and buy their short positions as it moves up on the day here from the earnings report. So that's interesting. We have RRD. This was the only other one I was looking at pre-market. I could have had a good short, but I was focusing on so I almost shorted this one pre-market for this move right here. Before I turned the live stream on, I almost shorted it right here. It was coming down and it pulled back here, and I almost shorted it for that move. That would have been not a big move, maybe up to 20 cents or so, but it looks like it's breaking up here. So that one's interesting, both long and short, but not really interested in trading it at this point. GURE also is hitting the scanners. This one has very low volume, 175,000 shares, and shot up a whole bunch here. This is easy to borrow. I've made some good money shorting stocks like this. It doesn't have any news that I can see. Let's see what sector it's in. So basic inorganic chemical manufacturing. Engages in the manufacture of chemical products, operates blah blah. Looks like bromine, crude, salt, chemical products, and natural gas. So what I see here is this one, for no apparent reason, just shot up 50 cents. So why did it do that? No idea. And so sometimes when I am looking for something to trade and I'm willing to take a little bit more risk, I'll short stocks like this that have really low volume on the day and they're up a whole bunch. I wouldn't do it with a huge position for sure, but if I look at this and I can't figure out why it has any business being at this level, then I could short it, and it might, on low volume, it's easy for these stocks to come down fast and hard. So if you look on the daily chart as well here, you can see how it's recently in early February come up all the way up here to above 550 where it's at right now, and then drop back down to low fives or even mid fours. So not really seeing much else of interest here. I can also come back to the gap scanner here. So this shows all the ones that were gapping up. So there's SYPR, the leading gapper, currently has 115 million shares of volume, and it looks like I did get out at a good price there for now. If I was willing to stick around and trade it longer, this would be a good point to short it here, probably as it rejects this moving average and likely continues lower. But I don't feel like trading much longer. And so there's RRD. We looked at that one. PSTX. That one could be interesting. So PSTX. Let's look at that. Also easy to borrow. PSTX. Oh, this one could be an okay short, but it's already... Yeah, this one would have been another good one to be looking at to short for breaking below the VWAP. It broke below the VWAP here up above $13, came all the way down to 12, came back up to 13, and then rejected the... This one's kind of similar to Cypress Solutions, SYPR, in that it broke down below the VWAP, then came all the way back up, and it took 10 minutes for it to come back down below the VWAP again. So the rejections of the VWAP today weren't super clean, so that's why I had to stop out on my first big short on SYPR, but that's okay. It's part of the plan. So yeah, just not seeing a whole lot of interesting movement right now. So that's it for me today. Up $2,229.92 on one stock, SYPR. That after commissions will probably, maybe around $80 of commissions today. So I'll be up, over 2,000. My account will be at almost $17,000 tomorrow. So it was $14,699.86 as of this morning. So that brings me up another 2,000 to the high 16,000. So getting narrowing in on the goal of 25,000. It's entirely possible that I'll get there this week if I have some killer trades on Thursday and Friday. It's also possible that I'll have another red day. Try and minimize the size of the red day if I do have one. And aside from that, just going to be continuing to trade how I have been. I did really well today in terms of keeping the share sizing low starting out to minimize, a big loss right out of the gates. So that was good. That helped me maintain a good mindset while I dealt with this stock not respecting the VWAP very well today. And yeah, overall, a great day. And I'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining the live stream. If you know anyone interested in this kind of thing, I would appreciate if you shared it with them. Maybe they'd like to watch, ask some questions. And yeah, it'd be nice just to have some more people come and join me here for this. So have a nice day, and I'll see you tomorrow.